Next, we will be discussing the triangle. As you can see, it is in the shape of a triangle, and we strike it with a beater. Now, when you're holding the instrument, what you want to do is I'm holding it in my left hand. I'm holding it in my non-dominant hand. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to strike the triangle with my right hand. So that means I'm going to hold the instrument with my left hand. Now, holding the instrument, what you want to do is you always want to try to hold any sort of what we call hand percussion up here, up close, like to your face, so the conductor can see it, the audience can see it. You really never want to play the instrument down here and strike it down here. You want it to be also visual as well as oral, that people can hear the instrument. So you want to hold it up, and basically when I hold it up, as you can see, I can see through the instrument, you can see my eyes, and what that allows you to do is when you're holding the instrument up and you're playing, again, like the other instruments, what's happening is I see the instrument, I would see the music stand in front of me, and then also I would see the conductor. So I'm playing the instrument, I'm seeing the music, and then I'm seeing the conductor, because again, what you do not want to do is have the instrument or the music here, the instrument here, and the conductor somewhere else, and then you're having to look in 2 or 3 different spots. The idea is that everything is kind of lined up from a visual standpoint. Now, again, as I mentioned, I hold it on my non-dominant hand. Hopefully you have a clip and you do not have some sort of wire or string holding it and then it spins around. This is a triangle clip specifically designed to hold a triangle. You put it through the opening. You generally want to have the opening to your left. And then what I do is then I will put it on my thumb and my ring finger, and then I'll use these other 2 fingers to kind of hold the instrument like this. Okay? And then I just rest the clip on my fingers. So again, I'm resting the clip on my fingers, and then I'm holding the instrument up here, so that way I can see the instrument, the music, and the conductor. Okay? Now, when I strike the instrument, the really cool thing about the triangle is you can get all kinds of different tones. Okay? So generally when you strike, again, you're using a triangle beater. Please try to make sure you're using the appropriate material. Don't use, I've seen students use screws or such and such. Try to make sure that you have an actual triangle beater. When you hold the instrument up, I'm striking roughly about a quarter of the way down, and I'm striking the bottom of the instrument. Now, as you heard, I got 2 different tones out of the instrument. One was a little bit lower and one was a little bit higher. So when you strike the instrument, you can strike with the different points of the beater. If I strike here, I get a little bit darker sound. If I go towards the tip, I'm getting a lighter sound. When you're playing, you want to try to gauge the sound and the pitch, if you will, as much as you can with what's going on with the band and the winds. So say, for instance, the woodwinds are playing and it's a really kind of higher, really light sound. I would try to play like this to try to match them. This wouldn't really match them. Okay? Now, which leads me to the next important topic. When you're striking the instrument, again, you just want to grip it between the thumb and the pointer finger. Again, the fulcrum. Just wrap these fingers around. And then when you strike the instrument, if you notice my hands and my arm, they're pretty stationary, and I'm just using, again, my wrist. Just a slight bit of arm, but primarily the wrist. I'm not doing this. And please remember, this is a musical instrument. So you really do not want to just bang away on the instrument and think, these things, drums and everything are made to be banged on. Yes, we strike the instruments to produce a tone and produce a musical sound, but the key word, musical. So you want to make sure that when you're playing the triangle, it's very musical. And you can use all the triangle to get different sounds. You don't want to hit it and really try to actually do damage to the instrument. Again, like I said, the arm is pretty stationary, and I'm primarily pivoting the wrist. Okay. Now, when I'm holding the instrument, or the beater, I should say, I'm kind of holding towards the back end of the instrument, or the beater. All right, I'm not holding towards the front or the middle. Okay, kind of like a drumstick. I'm holding towards the back end of the beater. Again, to get a nice sound. Now, it will be a little bit, slight bit heavy in the front, just a little bit, but that's okay. You want to grip towards the back of the beater. Now, if you notice, over here I have a table. So if you are able to, if you notice, I have a black cloth or a black towel, just like I had on the bass drum. You can get a towel and lay it on a music stand, and that creates what we call a trap table, which is a great device. So if I'm done playing the triangle, I can set it down, and it's not going to make a lot of noise putting it on a music stand, or it might fall off. The table actually helps dampen the sound, but also keeps the instrument in place so it doesn't roll off the stand. And if you notice, I've placed it flat like this. I didn't place it like we normally do when we put our music on, that the bottom lip is designed to keep the music on the stand. We don't really normally do that with the music stand like this. We will place it flat, so that way the instrument lays flat on the trap table, if you will. Now, if you notice, I have 3 different beaters. Okay, I kind of have a small, a medium, and a large. Now, obviously, if you're playing something again that is really soft and gentle, you can definitely use a smaller beater. No matter how you strike it, you're going to get a pretty light sound. Then if I use the medium size, which I was just using, I can get a bigger sound. And then if I use the larger, or the largest beater, but again, if you notice, I'm not really hammering the instrument. I'm still playing with musicality, but I'm getting a bigger sound. Now, does that mean that you can't get a big sound out of this? No, but as you can hopefully hear, there is a difference between the medium and the large. Now, in terms of rolls, okay, generally when we do a roll, what we will do is we will take the beater and we will go in this corner right here, and we'll just go back and forth. And it's kind of like the idea when we talked about the larger membranes versus the smaller membranes. The triangle, you really are not going to go as fast as you possibly can, but you're not going to go really slow like you're in slow motion. You're going to try to find a nice happy medium. Okay, so when you do a roll, the idea is that you just want to hear the sound of the instrument. You don't really want to necessarily hear the beater going ticka 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 ticka. You want to hear this. Okay. Now, if you notice at the very end, what I did was I dampened the triangle. So what I did was I strike it, and then what I'm doing is then I'm taking my pinky finger, and then if I can, I'm moving my thumb just to dampen the top of the instrument. Now, as you can hear, it still has overtones, and it kind of rings a little bit, but for the most part, the sound of the instrument is stopped. Okay. Now, hopefully, in your music, there will be an indicator. Normally, there will be a note head with like a line, and that will mean to let it ring. And that's the same thing for, timpani or crash cymbals or something, any sort of percussion instrument that rings and resonates. So you want to also pay attention, say like at the end of a piece of music, that if it's, let's say you have a triangle hit at the very end of a piece, and the band plays a staccato note, which is short, and they go bump, chances are you're going to want to hit the note and then dampen the instrument and not let it ring. Okay? So again, we have the 3 different beaters. We have the small, medium, the large. We hold it with our non-dominant hand. We place the beater on the ring finger and the thumb, and then we put the other 2 fingers on the top of the instrument. The pinky is kind of free to be able to lean up against the instrument and dampen it. Again, when we hold it up, we hold it with our non-dominant hand. Like I said, we hold it so that way you can see the instrument, the music, and the conductor. And that will be some successful triangle playing for you.